All right, so this is just a checkup video, guys, on the Tommy Robinson London immigration rally, anti-immigration rally, rather. I'm gonna let this rock out. This is basically Elon Musk to help Tommy Robinson kind of get the word out and kind of, because you got to think in Europe they're not even allowed to say or go against their government or anything like that. So it's kind of hard for them to do anything or get out of this. But it's nice that Elon Musk is kind of being like that adversary, you know what I mean, or like helping them however he can. So let's just get into this.
The people who ordinarily wouldn't get involved in politics, who just want to live their lives, they don't want they're quiet, they just go about their business. My message is to them: if this continues, that violence is going to come to you. You will have no choice. You're in a fundamental situation here where whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
None of this could have happened without you giving the British public access to the truth and giving us free speech and fighting for our free speech. So on behalf of Great Britain and the British public, we're incredibly grateful, Elon.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. And you may notice this T-shirt that I'm wearing. It's great British author George Orwell. What would Orwell think? I think that's generally a good way to look at these things. He would want freedom of speech. He would want the people to know what's real. He'd want the people to fight against government oppression. And fight for the truth and fight for the future of Britain.
Elon, we are incredibly grateful for your time. We know what a busy man you are. Why is it important for you to be here today speaking at this Unite the Kingdom event?
Well, I'm of primarily British heritage, British ancestry. I want Britain to be greater than it ever has been. I want Britain to remain Britain. I think there's something beautiful about being British. And what I see happening is a destruction of Britain. Initially a slow erosion, but a rapidly increasing erosion of Britain with massive uncontrolled migration, a failure by the government to protect innocent people, including children who are getting gang raped. It's unreal. The government has failed in its duty to protect its citizens, which is a fundamental duty of government. This has got to stop. There needs to be massive government reform in Britain. And the people need to be in charge, not some bureaucracy that doesn't care.
Elon, I believe that's where we've started today. Powered by the people, sending a message worldwide. Elon, you spend an incredible lot of money on X. Why is free speech so important to you?
Well, I believe you can't get to the truth of things without freedom of speech, without active debate. There's so many on the left that want to just crush debate and put people in prison just for talking, as you were, just for speaking their mind. The essence of democracy is it should be a government for the people, by the people. In fact, this is a government against the people and not for the people. This is why everyone is gathered here today, is something's got to be done. This is unacceptable. The government needs to be responsible to the people of Britain. It needs to protect Britain. It needs to protect the weak, those who cannot protect themselves, especially the children. And when I read about some of the horrific stories and how the government did nothing and tried to hide it, they try to hide these horrific crimes. And then you see how much violence there's on the left, with our friend Charlie Kirk getting murdered in cold blood this week, and people on the left celebrating it openly. The left is the party of murder and celebrating murder. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. That's who we're dealing with.
Look at that. In the UK, 2 days after his death, they're doing a protest for European values, Christian values, and across the pond they're hanging flags and pictures and signs of Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace.
With here, That is who we're dealing with.
Elon, to so many of the British public who are scared to exercise their free speech, they're worried about being imprisoned, they're worried about being attacked, even to share their speech on your platform of X. What message would you give to them?
The message is really, my message is to the reasonable center, the common sense. So my appeal is to British common sense, which is to look carefully around you and say, if this continues, what world will you be living in? This is a message to the reasonable center, the people who ordinarily wouldn't get involved in politics, who just want to live their lives. They don't want they're quiet. They just go about their business. My message is to them: if this continues, that violence is going to come to you. You will have no choice. You're in a fundamental situation here where whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
Today, Elon, I think the British public are telling the world that they're ready to fight back.
Good. Yes.
Come on, Great Britain. Come on. We've inspired the nation. Elon, you've spoken a lot about woke culture, the woke mind virus, and how it damages innovation and freedom of thought. We know that DEI often sees people getting jobs when they definitely don't deserve them. Do you think this culture is holding back progress in the West? And what do you think needs to happen to reverse it?
Yeah, I'm appealing to sort of common sense and fairness. I want to emphasize just common sense and fairness, which is that we should make our decisions based on merit, on how, if somebody is talented and hardworking, then that should be the only means of advancement. There should not be discrimination on the basis of sex or religion or any race or anything else. And what a lot of the woke stuff is, it's actually super racist, it's super sexist, and it's often it's anti-religion, but only anti-Christian. Like, why only anti-Christian? That's on.
Now that's a trending topic that you see time and time and time and time again. It's always anti-white, anti-Christian. Always. Whatever the left is spewing.
Unfair. So this is why, again, my message is to the reasonable middle. You do not want a world where there is fairness and common sense, and you advance as a function of how hard you work and your talent and your integrity. That should be all that matters. And the woke mind virus, that I call it, is against all of that. It's wrong.
We hear so much about censorship being pushed by governments and global corporations and organisations. A lot of people don't understand why we're allowing mass, uncontrolled immigration into all Western nations. Do you believe that there are powerful forces outside of elected officials, someone controlling governments, that are trying to control the flow of information, and how do we resist that pressure?
I think when you look at the behavior of organizations or people, you have to say, what is the incentive for these organizations? And frankly, there's a massive incentive on the left to import voters. So if they can't convince their nation to vote for them, they're going to import people from other nations to vote for them. This is a massive factor. And frankly, it's a strategy that will succeed if it is not stopped. And thus far, it is succeeding. And
if they just start mass importing people, giving them a bunch of free resources in a beautiful first world country, they have toilets, they have beautiful shops and beautiful homes and beautiful technology in the UK and Europe. They don't really have this beautiful. The people that they're importing into Europe are not used to these kind of things. So they're giving them all of these things. They're giving it to them for free. They're not having to do anything to better this society. And they're like basically fishing for a vote. And it's working. And if you get more immigrants imported into Europe than Europeans, I mean, logically that wins. And then even if you have some Europeans that are left wing, so you only really need to cover the gap with the immigration. So it's like, yikes, it's a hard one.
You see strong movements to allow people who are not from Britain to vote in Britain, to allow people who are not from France or elsewhere to vote in those countries, and thus depriving the citizens of their democratic power. It's really a voter importation thing, and if they're allowed to succeed, if this is allowed to continue, they will succeed in importing voters, swaying the elections, and taking your vote away from you. That is 100% what is happening.
Do you know what's great? The BBC and the mass media cannot control this, can they? I love it.
I mean, the BBC is complicit in the destruction of Britain.
And we pay for it, Elon. We pay for it.
Yes.
We're forced to pay for it. Do you know they send us to
insane.
jail if we don't pay for it?
You're forced to pay for your own destruction. It's insane. It's unfair. It is wrong.
Elon, a lot of ordinary people that are here today, they feel ignored, they feel censored, or they're labelled just for speaking up about their legitimate fears and concerns in their communities. Do you believe technology, like X or even AI, can finally give power back to those people? Or do you think it will make censorship worse or even automated?
I mean, that's a complicated question. It really depends on what government is in charge. The government can obviously use whatever powers are available to suppress the people. And so I really think there's got to be a change of government in Britain.
Using AI to automate the censorship of free speech and probably other things.
And you can't. We don't have another 4 years or whenever the next election is. It's too long. Something's got to be done. There's got to be a dissolution of Parliament and a new vote held. It's and really what matters is rallying the people of Britain, really getting the people of Britain to get the message out there, talk to your friends and family, and build a massive power base among the people. And like I said, you really got to appeal to the sort of average, the normal people that just want to go about their business, that they're sort of in a village somewhere, they're working, they just want to mind their own business. But you've got to point out to them that if we don't take action, they won't be able to mind their.
So what he's essentially saying, and the point that Elon Musk keeps bringing up, is he's saying that, and I see why he's going about it, because he's saying it's going to be a lot easier. You're not going to be able to remove the immigrants that they brought in. So those immigrants are now left side voting. So now say it shifts a little bit, like the vote from 50-50 is getting closer to the middle. You know what I mean? So he's saying they're never going to deport them in Europe. He knows they're never going to deport them. So what he's saying is Europe's best strategy is to go from the right, and for the conservatives or the right people, like the right standing people in Europe, to basically start convincing people or start waking people up to what's really going on if they don't do something, that are actually like British people. So yeah, there's an influx of immigration, but what Elon Musk is saying is that if you go for those people, like look at America. Remember for the last 10 years, 8 years, that people have been like, oh, we're switching from Democrat to Republican. We're starting to see what the hell is really going on here. And they switched to more conservative leaning like ideals. That's what he's saying that Europe needs to do. Like Europe needs to go to the Europeans, citizens, and say, wake up. Look at what's happening. And if you don't do something about it now, what's going to happen? And he's saying inevitably it's going to be more violence on them, and they'll 100% lose their votes. So, smart man.
Because other people are going to come and maraud them. There's genuine risk of rape and murder, and the destruction of the country, and dissolution of the entire way of life. And so, yes, in the normal course of of business, if things were, if you weren't under massive attack, then people should go about their business and just live their lives. But unfortunately, if the fight comes to you, you don't have a choice. You have to fight. So you have to rally all of the people of Britain to fight for the future.
Let me ask
And if
people
this
of
doesn't
Britain,
happen, there won't be a future.
are you ready to fight for your future, Britain?
Fight for your future. Do it. Go.
Will we be gagged any longer, Britain?
But you know what I mean, Tommy. You know what I mean. I talk to my friends in Britain, and
We're in trouble now. Elon Musk is excited about something, so he's funny.
they're like, yes, they live in a village here or there, or a town or city here or there, and they're like, well, it doesn't seem like it's really that much of a problem. I'm like, well, if you want to know what's going to happen to your town or village, just visit London, and you'll see that it's filled with crime. It often doesn't feel like Britain at all, and it's only a matter of time before that is what happens to your town or village. It starts.
And what's been happening to all the major cities in America? What's been happening everywhere, all the blue cities in America, where they allow all the sanctuary cities, they allow the immigrants, and look what happens.
Starts in London, but it will spread to every town and village in the country, and no one will have any peace.
We're running out of time, people. We're running out of time. Elon, you've built rockets, you've built cars, you've built satellites, you've built AI. Things most of us couldn't dream of. It's fair to say you're a visionary. When you look at leaders in Europe and the UK today, do you think they share the same talent for future vision, or do you feel like they'll be left behind and out of touch?
Well, I think we've got to have a freer country, a freer. Europe in general has to be freer. It's stifled by bureaucracy. I think it's good that Britain left the EU, because there's just too much bureaucracy in the EU. But frankly, instead of really going down a path of personal freedom and deregulation and getting rid of these stifling regulations, unfortunately, the British government has pretty much stayed on par with the EU, if not in some ways made the stifling regulation worse. If you have excess government regulation and oppression, you stifle the freedom of people to try new and great ideas. And Britain used to be a country that did amazing things, some of the boldest things on the entire planet, and that is possible in the future. But it can't be done if you've got this massive oppressive bureaucracy and a government that doesn't care about its people. And that has to change. There has to be profound change. And there's not much time left.
Elon, you've said before that civilization is fragile. We agree.
Yes.
It's precious. When you look at the West right now, every country in the West, with its wars, its divisions, its censorship, and its declining trust in institutions, none of us trust them at all. None of the public trust them.
For good reason.
Are you optimistic or pessimistic about where we are heading?
I think if the people of Britain take charge.
I'll tell you one thing. Now, what they're doing right now, what they're putting together right now, today, on September 13th, 2025, and that energy, if they could shift that and push that and get that out there across everywhere in Europe, they're on the right track, that's for sure.
And actually ensure that there's a government that represents their interests and not a government that represents foreign interests, then I think Britain has a great future. And I think we can be optimistic. I think there's amazing things that are possible. If the technology that's coming is used in the right way, we can have an incredibly exciting future, one which is, sort of Star Trek made real. It's sort of like the exciting utopian sci-fi where we have spaceships and we've got robots and we've got incredible technologies that are really exciting. But we need to preserve civilization long enough for that to happen, and we need to go onward and upward. And we need to fight for such a future. Such a future is not inevitable. We have to fight for such a future.
I think that many British people had lost hope, but after today's scene, have you got hope again, Britain? Britain is awake. Thanks to you, Elon. Thanks to your input. Can we just ask?
Well, thanks to you, Tommy.
Thank you, brother. Can we ask, what do you see as the future of the UK and Europe in your vision? Where are we heading? What's the future like for us?
I think there needs to be a future where when people take charge, where there's deregulation, a massive reduction in bureaucracy, and generally a new hope, where people look forward, wake up in the morning, and look forward.
People take to the streets, take the power back, and praise the Lord.
Towards the future. They're excited about what's going to happen next. But we must have revolutionary government change for that to occur. And this is not ordinary course of business sort of stuff. This really requires everyone to sort of marshal the people, so to take charge, reform the government, and make sure that you actually have a government that is for the people, by the people. And that's essential. And that's not, so we're really at a fork in the road here. We're at a fork in the road to darkness or greatness. And that will be decided only in a matter of years. And we must take the path to greatness. And that's the path that's exciting and inspiring and will make life worth living.
Elon, you've done more than anyone to shine the torch on.
All right, guys. So Tommy Robinson, man, exceptional guy. I've been watching his videos. I've seen, if you look him up on YouTube, Tommy Robinson, Ireland, UK, Europe, London, however you need to type it in there, Tommy Robinson videos, look him up, what he's been doing. He's been fighting and advocating for mass immigration, illegal immigration, and the rapes that's going on, the increase of it because of the immigration. And even Elon Musk just said something about it. Like, they try to cover it up. They're not even making arrests. It's like they don't even care, to be honest. It's like they really don't care about their people. But I think that was a great interview, especially in front of the people while they're out there. They're all look at them. They're all out there. They took to the streets. They got their flags flying high. You got the cathedral in the background. Like, that is London, baby. That is European culture. You tell us we don't have culture? Look at the cathedrals. Look at the churches. Don't tell us we don't have culture. But Elon Musk, he's getting excited about it. He wants them to take to the streets. He wants them to do this. He wants them to take over, kick that bureaucracy out. That's what he was saying over and over again. And also, like I said, Elon Musk was real adamant about getting people that are on the left, the European people that are a little on the left, or maybe they're like more towards the middle. He was concerned about getting as many people as you can and getting them over to the right side. So let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe. I'm going to keep on rolling with this. I mean, I don't know. I woke up this morning. I got a couple more subscriptions. I got a couple more comments. Got a couple thousand more views. So I'm going to keep this up, boys. Let me know what you think.